Okay, so here we have the top of the range Neff microwave combi, the C1732. Now, if you buy one of these, you expect it to perform at the best of its specification and to do exactly what you want. But unfortunately, a lot of people who bought one of these have discovered that it doesn't actually seem to work very well. They cook pre-packaged foods for the recommended time at the maximum power, 900,000 watts, for say 3 or 4 minutes as specified on the instructions, and they find the food comes out not hot and even tepid and sometimes actually cool. And they're very puzzled. So why is this? Well, I'm going to tell you. First of all, let's have a look at the specification that came with this device. So here we have an extract from the 2016 manual, which is the one that came with my oven. And buried on page 18, it has microwave output settings. And you'll notice that it has a range of settings, and it actually says that top of the setting is a 1000 watt microwave for heating liquids, which is perhaps a bit odd. And the maximum cooking time is 30 minutes. Now, let's have a look at the 2017 specification to see if there's any change. So here's the 2017 manual. This is now happens to be buried on page 19. And you notice that one thing that's different is that they've changed, instead of 1000 watts, they've now called it maximum for heating liquids, but a maximum cooking time of 30 minutes. But also, Neff, by the way, is just a brand name. Neff are owned by a huge huge German company called BSH. They've added to this specification the maximum setting is for heating liquids. After a certain period, the microwave's power output is reduced to below maximum to protect the appliance. After a cooling period, the microwave's full power will be available once more. To protect the appliance. Well, most people would read that and say, okay, well, if something seriously overheats, that's not a bad idea. That's what fuses are for, after all. They protect appliances. They don't tell you when the certain period is, or give any other indication. And it still says very clearly the maximum cooking time for the maximum setting, 1000 watts, is 30 minutes. But is it? Let's now go and look at the microwave in operation. So, back to the microwave. I've got a bowl of water in here. With this particular microwave, it doesn't have a turntable. It has a metal shelf because it's a combi oven. And it's perfectly okay to use a metal shelf because the metal shelf actually says on it for microwave use only. So we'll shut the door. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor the power consumed by this microwave, and I'll do that by fitting a power meter just to the handle here. So here we are. We've got a little standard power meter of the sort you can get from your electricity company. Just trying to get it so you can read the display. Now, this power meter is only monitoring the supply to this microwave, nothing else. That's why it's reading on that particular readout there, no watts at the moment. Now, I'll turn the microwave on, and because it's still in standby, you'll see it's still saying 0 watts. Now, the first thing you'll notice, if I can get a bit closer, is that, slightly oddly, the microwave has come on. You can preset whether it comes on as an oven or a microwave, but you can't change anything else. And you'll notice that it actually has come on at 600 watts. That's a bit odd because most microwaves you normally want to cook things at the maximum power, which is 1000 watts, but not this one. So to change that, one push button so far to turn it on. To change that, you push this button here, and sure enough, it goes to 1000 watts. Then you push the down button and you get up to the timer, which always defaults to a minute. You can't change that either. So let me now increase that to, say, 2 minutes. So we're going to operate at 1000 watts for 2 minutes. The power consumption is 0. I'm now going to turn on the microwave by pushing this button here. And you'll notice the power now begins to rise pretty rapidly to 1946 watts. These power meters, by the way, monitor every second, so there's a little ramp up time when any electrical change occurs. Now, if you look at the timer, that's now going down, and we'd set it for 2 minutes. It's now 1 minute 35 or 30 seconds, so it's been running for 30 seconds. Now, what's going to happen in a minute, which is a bit of a surprise, it was a surprise to me when I first discovered it, is that just after 1 minute of operation, you'll notice that power meter drop significantly. It's got 10 seconds to go, or 15 seconds, so let's just keep watching. We're running around 1950 watts. It's still showing 1000 watts on the screen. Now we're just coming up to a minute. A minute and 5 seconds. A minute and 10 seconds. Oh look, we've suddenly lost about 250 watts, 260 watts off the power. So what's going on here? The display still says 1000 watts, but we've lost actually now 250 watts. We'll leave this on a bit because I just want to show you something else as well. So for some reason, after 1 minute of operation, or just over, this microwave doesn't operate at 1000 watts. It's suddenly reduced its power by 250 watts. So that means it's running about probably 700, 750 watts maximum. This is why the food doesn't cook. You don't get told of this power reduction. The front panel doesn't change. It just happens. Now that's timed out at 2 minutes. The power stopped, it's gone into standby. Now I'm going to put in another time, 1 minute, 1000 watts, and we'll start it up again. You might expect, this is if you were cooking the second item, you might expect that this microwave will now go back to its 1950 watts. Can you see? So you'll notice now it's not even running at full power. In fact, now it's dropped to 1200 watts. So we've lost 700 watts off the output power into the microwave. So if you do a repeat cooking for a further minute or two, irrespective of what the maximum power originally was, this microwave is now running at about half rate. So why is this? I'm now going to press stop. And I'll turn it off. The reason is that BSH, when they manufactured this microwave, discovered there's a flaw in it. The key component in a microwave is called a magnetron, and in this particular model, and I think virtually all Neff microwaves, combi microwaves, are affected, and of course BSH also owns Siemens and Bosch, and I'm led to believe they're affected as well. The magnetron in this microwave is a faulty design, and it cannot operate at maximum power for the stated 30 minutes in the manual. So what did Neff do about this? They didn't withdraw the product and redesign it. They have incorporated secret software that actually, after just over a minute, cuts the output power by a significant amount. The user's not aware of it. It doesn't tell you in the manual what's going on, unless you have to dig into page 18 and actually read that paragraph in the latest ones and try and work out what it means. They don't tell you after 1 minute that the power is going to go down. So fundamentally, the statement in the manual that says the maximum cooking time or maximum power is 30 minutes is actually completely false. This microwave can never cook at maximum power for more than 70 seconds. That is disgusting. Now, what are Neff doing about this? They were told about this in the middle of last year because I complained to them. Now in my case, they eventually gave me a 100% refund on the cost of the unit and let me keep it. This is it. But they've continued to sell it. And loads of people who buy this unit are being deceived into buying a product which they think is going to work properly and doesn't. This is just not good enough.